OBS in a browser is here, and this is not clickbait. Again, full disclosure, this is not OBS, but it's a new software called Evmux. And the reason why I'm saying that it's actually OBS in a browser is because it does everything that OBS does. Well, almost everything that OBS does, but the only difference is it's gonna be able to do all that within a browser. So what's the advantage of having OBS in a browser if you're somebody who enjoys actually OBS? Here's the thing, this is my show in OBS and I've already built it. As you can see, I've got my countdown timer, I've got my main camera, I've got my top down shot. So if I want to show anything like a product, I got my guest scene. If I have a guest on my show, I've got my desktop share kind of scene right here, kind of available. I got my chat screen where I can have my chat scrolling, showing up here, and I'm gonna be on screen. I got everything built in my OBS, no problem. However, if I wanted to go, let's say I travel to Europe, the US, or anywhere I want to travel, I'm not gonna be able to take the show with me. Why? Because OBS is running actually on my local computer, right? That's a problem, and my computer that I'm using is actually a huge desktop, so I'm not gonna be able to carry the desktop with me and take it to everywhere I go. So that's where having a browser-based streaming platform actually comes in, and is actually super helpful, because I can build almost everything that you guys are seeing here and be able to take that with me in the clouds. How? By simply because a software, the platform is using a browser. So if I go to the US and I have access to my laptop that's running Google Chrome, I can actually go to Google Chrome, just log in using my email, and I'm gonna be able to access my studio, all my overlays, all my cameras. Of course, you're gonna have to have a camera connected to the laptop, but I'm gonna be able to have everything that I've built in OBS. And on the top of that, I don't have to have a super powerful computer, because most of these platforms are actually running in a browser. Actually, all of them, if you're running through a browser, the person running the software doesn't have a powerful computer or a dedicated graphics card like in OBS. So that's the benefit of having something that runs in a browser. But most browser-based software, problem is they're not good enough. They're not as good or customizable like OBS. If you use StreamYard before, StreamYard is gonna be super limiting, and you're not gonna be able to be as creative as how you can be in OBS. However, that's not the case for this new streaming software called Evmux, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like. First of all, this is the website for Evmux. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead to sign in. Really, you gotta go to just this sign in or create an account. Usually, if you don't have an account with them, it's just gonna ask you if you want to sign in with Google. Usually that's the easier way. It doesn't have to your YouTube channel, just any Google account, and you're gonna be able to create your free account. Now, I'm on the free tier, which means I'm not gonna be able to access all the good stuff that Evmux is actually offering, but I'm gonna be able to demo most of it. Okay. Now, to be fair, once you get here inside Evmux, they're gonna give you, this is the dashboard, and you can create what they call sessions. So basically, sessions like in OBS, like profiles, when you have maybe a profile for streaming to YouTube, another profile for streaming to Facebook, or another profile for streaming for someone else, maybe who's not you. So you can have different designs for different shows, and that's what they call sessions. So I have this session that I've created a long time ago, and I'm gonna go ahead and actually hit studio, and it's gonna take me inside the Evmux studio. Of course, most of the time it's gonna ask you to allow to connect your microphones and cameras and everything. Once you get in, again, it's gonna look super simple, and as you can see, it has this dark mode, which is awesome. So you're gonna go ahead and choose your camera, your microphone. You can also go to settings. It has hotkeys, which is super good because you can use the Stream Deck to control it. You have virtual background. You can go to advanced settings and do some other cool stuff. But as you can see, my camera is showing up. Again, you can go here under camera, and you have all your inputs available. You can connect to any camera that you want. You can even use multiple cameras. All right. But again, so we good. Everything looks good here. My audio and everything looks good. Once you're happy, you can actually go ahead and join the studio. So now, if I do side by side compared to OBS, why I say that this is OBS in a browser, it's actually better than OBS, If I go to studio mode in OBS, basically it's gonna allow you to have 2 split screen. Same thing here, I have access to studio mode. Do the same thing, right? Now, another thing, let's create the first scene that I have in OBS. If I wanted to replicate the same thing that I have in OBS, the first scene is my intro countdown timer. I can just hit cut and it's gonna start playing, no problem. Okay, guess what? I can do exactly the same thing if I go to Evmux here, okay, and I go to what they call pro scenes. This is where the magic happens, okay? But before we go to pro scenes, I just want to show you, this is the dynamic scenes. It's like the ease of use if you have used StreamYard before, which is super limiting compared to Evmux. You can see that I have this layout where I can bring in, like, you know, if I wanted to bring in a guest, which is super complicated in OBS, you can simply go to invite guest, hit copy this link. You just want to send it to your guest. Once the guest click on it, you're gonna be able to simply join. I'm gonna mute my microphone. All right, click join. Okay, and then, you know, after adding their camera, obviously, and they're going to be able to show up here. Usually it may take a few seconds, and as you can see, this is my guest. Again, I don't have a camera here, but what I can do is I can click add, and as you can see now, I have my guest next to me. Now I can toggle off the studio mode, okay, yeah, and then I'm gonna be just with one screen, and as you can see, I can change the layouts just like that, just like that, just like that. So this is the easy thing if you're not, don't want to mess up with, you know, want to do like what OBS does and everything, or you want to run a show on the fly. However, if you want to do what OBS does, you can go to what they call pro scenes here. This is where the magic happens. Now, because I'm using this free version, okay, I don't have access to, every time I do something with the pro scenes, I'm gonna have this watermark. So hopefully you're going to understand. I don't know why Evmux did it, but it is what it is. I don't want to pay right now. I'm not ready, I'm not using it, so I just wanted to show you what it does. Okay, so let's go ahead and create. The first thing that I have in OBS is a intro, which is a countdown timer. I can go here and hit add the scene. I can just use what they have already built into it. If I go to welcome, as you can see, they have few things that kind of ready for me. But if I want to build exactly the same thing, I can call it, let's say welcome, okay, like in OBS. And then I can go to empty and then hit create. I can also delete this one because I don't need it. Hit delete. And then what I can do, I can go to layers here. These are like sources in OBS, okay? Now I can go add the layer, and then I can go to something like media file. And then what I can do is I can go to upload. I already have few, but I can go to upload. And then I can go to my countdown timers. So I'm gonna go look for one. So I have my same countdown timer that I have in OBS. I'm just gonna upload it, and then boom, just gonna wait for it to upload. All right, so right now it says 100% uploaded. And then I can go ahead and click to it. And as you can see, it's playing, no problem. So I can choose that one, and I can also have controls. So as you can see, I can play it, I can pause it, I can loop it if I want. Again, because it's a countdown timer. Again, I had this watermark and I don't want to upgrade right now, but this is what's gonna look like. Now, next up, I can go to OBS, and my next scene is actually my camera. So if I want to do my camera, and I have actually an overlay with my camera, which should be here. It's gonna move it, gonna exit my studio mode, main camera. So I have an overlay, it's an animated overlay. I can go ahead and actually do exactly the same thing. So what I would do is I'm gonna go to create a new scene. Usually I already have my camera here, which I can go back to whenever I want, okay? But again, I don't have to show this countdown timer all the time. So I can choose something like this, and then I can take off my guest from there. Yeah, so whenever I want, I can go back to this will be my camera, okay? But if I want to be more sophisticated, I can go ahead and can have my countdown timer here. I'm just gonna pause it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add a new scene. Again, go from empty, and then from this scene we can name it, and go ahead and actually rename and call it main camera, okay? And then hit continue. And then on this one, I'm gonna add the layer, and that layer I'm gonna add first the media file, and then we're going to upload an overlay. So that overlay, I'm gonna get it from some of my overlays here, single overlays, and I can use this one right here. let's use this one maybe. Okay, now it's gonna take time to upload, and this is okay. So now it's uploaded and I can click to it. So we're gonna add to the mix. As you can see, it's ready. And because this is an overlay, I'm gonna have it actually loop. Okay, so as you can see, it's gonna keep looping, which is great. All right, this is an animated overlay. Okay, so what I need to do now is I can lock it, so just make sure nobody moves it. And what we need to do is I can add a new layer, and then for this layer I can add a speaker, which is gonna be me. And then I can add some like production tips and tools. And then for this time, I'm gonna make sure the layer is on the top, the overlay, like in OBS. And as you can see now, of course, I can go ahead and customize myself, make sure I look good a little bit, too full, but something like this, right? So now if I click off, as you can see, this is what I'm gonna look like. Okay, so now I've got exactly the same thing, and this is a different overlay. But if I wanted to, I can actually add the layer. I can go to media and I'm gonna upload a new overlay just to make sure I match almost what I have in OBS. And it's going to upload. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, okay, so now it's uploaded and I'm gonna add this one. Okay, and what I can do, I can actually go ahead and hide the first one that we had. And I'm gonna move this one on the top. There you go. So now, as you can see, I have exactly the same layout that I have in OBS. Okay, so again, you can customize all this stuff. Okay, I can also, like, because my microphone is already there, I'm the speaker, so I don't have to add my microphone. If I want, I can add some background music. I can just click to some of this music already built into Evmux. Okay, which is great. Okay, I can have a private chat if I want to chat to my guests without having the chat to show on the stream, which is better than it's actually something that we don't have in OBS. Okay, and what else do we have in OBS here? We need the live chat. We don't need to do anything for the live chat because it's already there. We can do a top-down kind of look as well. Okay, all you gotta do is you go to Evmux and you can add the camera. Now, unfortunately, to add the second camera, you're gonna have to subscribe to their paying tier. Okay, I'm gonna just hit cancel, but you can do that as well. Another thing is if you want to add, let's say, what else do we have? Desktop share. If you want to share your screen, you don't even have to use a pro scene. You can simply use a dynamic scene like this one, and then go to share your screen. And then you can choose what you want to share. You can actually choose something like an entire screen. And I'm gonna go ahead and choose the screen and share it. And it's gonna show up here. So whenever I wanna share my screen, I can simply go ahead and hit add. And then I can choose a layout that actually, does justice. Something like this one. Or if I wanna make it look like what I have on OBS, actually, because this one is not that good, maybe something like this. Again, this one should be on the top here, something like this or that. Okay, but if I want to make sure it actually look as good as what I have in OBS, I can go ahead and create a new scene, okay, from scratch in the pro scene, and then I can go add the layer. And then I can do, for this time, we can actually add a media source, media file. We can add the background, something that we already have, something like this. Make sure it fits the screen. Okay, again, everything is a watermark, which is super I don't like it. I'm gonna talk to Evmux team. This is not good. You can put a watermark here, but if I'm doing a demo for this video, I should be able to have to like show a clean view of what I'm trying to do. So anyways, and I'm gonna go ahead and add another layer. And for this layer, it's gonna be a speaker, right? And then it could be me. And then I can actually make myself really small, something like this. I can also crop myself. So if I wanna crop, I can go here and I can simply crop. These are things that you do in OBS, guys. And once I'm done, boom, I can put myself somewhere here or here, right? And then you also want to make sure the background is on the top, okay? And then lock it. And then obviously this is what's gonna look like. And then we want to make sure we bring in, hit add the layer, and we want to make sure we bring in our screen share. So screen share, and yeah, there's a screen share coming from me from Sam, and then we can actually make sure it's actually underneath here, and then we can make sure it looks like something like this, right? So we can also toggle studio mode, okay? And then so if we come from this to this, oh sorry, the background has to go on the bottom, yeah. Yeah, the background has to go on the bottom, and all the layers you want to see, they have to be on the top. There we go. So now as you can see, whenever I'm ready, I can send it to live, okay? I can move this on the bottom. So when I start my show, I start from here, okay? Countdown timer, boom, send it to live. Again, I can switch to studio mode, and it plays, blah, 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 5 minutes. And then when I'm ready, I start talking. I say my main camera, hey, what's up guys? It's Sam, what's going on? And then when I'm ready, I can switch to this other scene that I just created, which is my screen share. If I want to share stuff, again, I can upload another overlay, just create like exactly what I have in OBS. All right. And if I want to do like media playback, I can add a video, be right back scenes and stuff like that. Everything, guys, can be done here, and you can build your show from scratch. So if I wanted to do like another scene, I can do not add the layer, but I can go to pro scene and add the scene. I can make sure it's empty, and then for this scene I can add the layer, and it could be just a media file. I have a video here that I recorded a long time ago, and it will be just that. So if I want to play back a video, I can come from here and then go to main camera, and then go to scene where I'm showing stuff, and I want to play back a video. I can play that video. You know, I'm just gonna go ahead and pause it just to show you. And for whatever reason, if I feel like I'm kind of overwhelmed and I want to go back to my dynamic scene, show my basic camera, I can actually go ahead. As you can see, I had that screen, but I can also take off everything and just go back to my main camera just like that. And if I want it to be full screen, and I can go back there just like that. So as you can see, I can do anything that I'm actually able to do in OBS. I can even set up like custom. I can even do like things like stinger transitions, like anything you think you can do in OBS, you can actually do it in Evmux. And the good thing about this, because it's in a browser, once I go to another computer in another country or in another city, as long as I'm logged into my Evmux account, I'm gonna have access to my show kind of pre-built. If I want to live stream, I can go live to multiple destinations. I can go to edit destination, and I can add as many destinations as I mean, not as many depending on the tier, but I can go live to Facebook, YouTube, everything from the studio right here in Evmux. I can also record, no problem. I can also do what they call ISO recording, which means I can, you know, if I have 2-3 guests coming in, I can record separately each guest. I can do also what they call local recording, which means I can record a higher quality of my, you know, image or my guest image, because if you record using Evmux, you actually, depending on your internet connection, if your internet connection drops, your stream or your recording may be a little kind of lower quality. However, if you do local recording, it's actually recording on your computer, so recording your camera signal coming into the computer, and it's not depending on your internet connection, which is cool. So the sky is the limit, guys, with Evmux. So if you're tired of OBS or you feel like you don't have time anymore, again, I love OBS. My channel is full of OBS tutorials. However, if you feel like OBS is actually taking too much of your time, or you actually sometimes you are on the go and you want to be able to have that flexibility of taking your show anywhere you go, or being able to easily bring in guests, you want to make sure you check out Evmux. I'm gonna leave a link down below if you have questions. I've also got a video that I'm gonna link at the end of this video, showing you more cool stuff that you can do with Evmux. Keep in mind, you have some other cool things that in OBS that will take you time to do. Things like showing your comments on screen, something like this, your banners. You can easily create like a scrolling text, like just by writing whatever you want it to scroll. It's already there, kind of pre-made for you. This is like OBS in a browser, but it's also easier. Like, guys, like, I'm super excited about Evmux, and man, for Evmux team, kudos for what you have made. And they're actually adding more stuff every week. They're announcing new features, and actually the only issue that I had with Evmux was the stability problem, because at some point they were adding too many features, and I felt like the software was getting a little buggy, but they've been focusing lately on making sure Evmux was stable. So again, if you want to check out Evmux, link down below for everything they can actually do. You can sign up for a free account and kind of play with it, and if you love it, of course, go ahead and actually sign up. It's not free, you're gonna have to pay for it, so you want to make sure you have the money available and it's actually worth your investment, because at the end of the day, if you go live once a month, it's probably not worth it paying for Evmux. But if you're going live every week and you're gonna have multiple guests and stuff like that, and you're enjoying maybe OBS and you want something that's kind of like similar but more easier and that's gonna save you time, Evmux is gonna be the right choice, obviously. But other than that, if you want to stay with OBS, I've got another video that I made showing you step by step how to set up everything that I just showed you, everything you get from Evmux, as long as you do it locally on your local computer, and of course, because OBS is gonna be 100% free. So you want to make sure you check out that video. I'm gonna link it right here, and I'll see you there, guys. Take care.